At SummerSlam this year, WWE is looking to continue its very unfortunate trend of having their women's champion, their women's title, not be in the most important or most relevant position going into the pay-per-view match. And the fact of the matter is, Asuka is the current WWE Women's Champion. You can't change that. She beat Bianca Belair at Night of Champions. And so far since then, the story revolving around the Women's Championship itself has not been about Asuka. It hasn't been about the champion. It's been about the title. It's always been about the championship, but here's the thing. There's a lot more beef going on between Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair, both of her challengers at SummerSlam on August 5th. But Asuka is nowhere to be found. As a matter of fact, Charlotte Flair challenged Bianca Belair to a match for the championship because she believed that she was going to beat Asuka hands down. And Asuka wasn't even in the discussion in terms of having that match. And again, this is a trend that WWE has been maintaining throughout the entire year, specifically with their women's championships. It's not about the in-ring product, because we saw it at WrestleMania. The in-ring product is absolutely there. One of the best matches of 2023, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the then SmackDown Women's Championship. But now, it seems like WWE's planting a few seeds to get to Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair at next year's WrestleMania, which I'm completely fine with it. Absolutely do it. That is a WrestleMania-worthy main event match. That match will blow the roof off whatever stadium that WrestleMania is taking place. But the current WWE Women's Champion right now, the focal point of that division should be Asuka. And on top of that, you've got Miss Money in the Bank herself, Io Sky. Fantastic performer. Everybody loves her. Everybody wants her to cash in that briefcase because, number one, everyone loves these types of cash-ins. And absolutely I would love it if she cashed in on Asuka. Warranted. The only reason I would want that to happen is if down the line we get an Io Sky versus Asuka feud for the Women's Championship. But that's kind of in the back burner right now, because if Io Sky does become Women's Champion, that pretty much leaves her against Asuka in the very near future. And then where do we take Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair right now? You can't really take it anywhere because, like I said, that's a main event, WrestleMania main event worthy match. So they can't put it on a random pay-per-view, the September pay-per-view, Battleground, I believe, it's coming up, or Payback, one of those two. I keep forgetting. But overall, the triple threat match at SummerSlam, yes, it's enticing, it's attractive. It's a match that, number one, we saw coming miles and miles away, much like a few months ago with the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. Just like that triple threat was obvious, this triple threat between Asuka, Charlotte Flair, and Bianca Belair for the women's title was also obvious. And it's going to be one of the best matches in Detroit that night. I have no doubt in my mind about that. But the focal point should be on Asuka. The focal point should be on the women's champion. And this is something that AEW has done so in the past too. Again, with the Outcast storyline against the Homegrowns, Jamie Hayter suffered from this. We're currently seeing it on Monday Night Raw with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley doesn't really have, ever since she became SmackDown Women's Champion, and now she's a Women's World Champion, she hasn't really had that one defining rival, that one defining feud on Monday Night Raw to really establish herself as the predominant female on that division. Again, creative when it comes to wrestling has waned. Female wrestling in WWE has waned. It has gone down. And we can go even a step further on that when it comes to Asuka. Ever since she got pinned by Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania in 2018, her character, her story arcs, everything about this character just screams secondary. It screams side character. It screams transitional. And if you saw what Asuka was capable of in NXT, that unstoppable run that should not have been ended at WrestleMania by Charlotte Flair of all people, because Charlotte Flair did not need that, then you understand why fans, why I'm trying to shine some light into this. Asuka is the current women's champion. Treat her as such. As a matter of fact, Asuka should retain her title at SummerSlam. I don't care who she pins. Hell, pin Bianca Belair, pin Charlotte Flair. It doesn't matter. Just have her retain. Have her retain, and then have both Bianca and Charlotte Flair go their separate ways, deal with separate people up until we get to the Royal Rumble, where one of them is going to win that match and challenge a women's champion, whether it be Belair or Charlotte Flair down the line, who beats Io Sky or Asuka down the line. Again, fix this entire situation. We got months to go, but for right now, focus on the Empress of Tomorrow. She has so much potential in her character itself. But they don't do her justice. They haven't done her justice. And that's always uncreative when it comes to the women's division in WWE, at least in 2023. At least when it comes to the women's championship themselves, because on Monday Night Raw, we're getting a fantastic feud between Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Zoe Starks. You couldn't do that on SmackDown with these three women? And again, in a different way, because the women's championship is involved, so you don't put Asuka in the Zoe Starks position where she is the third member in line in terms of getting attention in that feud. No, she is the women's champion. Treat her as such. Anyway, that's just my little rant on this entire situation. Again, it's not the in-ring product. Again, this triple threat match is fantastic. It's something I am completely looking forward to, but they just have to fix certain tendencies when it comes to the women's division in 2023. With that said, tune in later on tonight to Fox for another episode of SmackDown. We're about a week. We're about 8-9 days away from SummerSlam itself. So, with that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk. Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.